Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Get this all positioned up. I need to get those light things, to lighten me up. Add some light into into the beauty. So, welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this big blue ball of bouncing in the space, the atmosphere, the stratosphere, whatever. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, whew. So if you saw the moon this morning or you saw it last night, yes, it looks full. It's only 98%. It's not full till tomorrow. And we're just, this is the first time we have this moon opposition Capricorn, and there is no Pluto. It's like, hello, 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 hello. So it's kind of vacant on the other side. The moon will be going void of course today. And in ancient times, that was a time of really sort of going inward, taking some time internally and not overdoing things, and especially when it's going to go void of course, it's quite far. It's going to be about 26, almost 27 degrees off course. So it's, you might be feeling a little bit off today. And when it comes to your intuitions or feelings of wanting to get things done or going into a certain direction. And as we build up to a full moon that is going to square Jupiter, and then working on all energies going direct, all of the planets going direct. So you're going to have this kind of feeling like, yeah, we are moving forward. This is, especially within Aquarius, like um just the feelings that we haven't really had before, and this thrust of energy. And I feel it's like, oh, for some people it's going to, yeah, it's going to be taxing on the brain. Mental illness is quite a big thing. And there's a lot of talk on mental illness, a lot of talk about keeping care of yourself, when it comes to stress, anxiety, overwhelmness, people feeling, very taxed with everything that's going on in the world. But this is like, it's also coming in where, with even with all of that, starting on a new adventure. And the energies, from June, so from, I'd say, from the summer solstice last year, building up to now, it feels like we've gone through, I don't know, 10 different lifetimes, even though things have sped up. But it feels like we've gone through, I don't know, it's already been, are you sure it's 2024? I thought it was like, 2034 kind of thing, because of how things have been sort of progressing and moving, and how we've been doing things, and so much has been bombarded upon us in all avenues. It could be, within the relationships, within the financials, within our spiritual, within our work energies. All of these different areas have been sort of plagued in some way. But this is where I feel like, start of our lives, the build up off the sluggishness, and a real, like, let's get going, get doing. And I feel this is also where it's like not putting things off. Like, don't be putting things off because, oh, well, we can't do this because of this and that. It's, yeah, if this is like, if you're really wanting to build something up, you're really wanting to go and do something, yeah, I would start to look at it and start to really work on it. It may feel like, oh, nothing's coming together, it doesn't feel right. But if you're waiting for that perfect moment, that exact moment, it's got to be this day at this time, and it ain't going to happen. You're going to just find that it's going to be put off and put off and put off and put off. So it's not about putting things off, it's getting back in gear. That moon is going to come in, and it is going to trine Neptune. So don't be putting shit off. Don't be trying to, avoid doing things. And it is also to get into being uncomfortable, into thinking that, oh, things aren't going to work out for me, and bang, they just switch over to something else. It's allowing yourself to go through the uncomfortableness. It's allowing yourself to, it's work on what needs to be worked on in your life, whether it's your relationships, your finances, taking that ownership of doing that, especially, we got that, as I was saying last night, with Venus in, in Capricorn. And we also have the two boys in there also, with the Neptune and Mars and coming up to a conjunction there. So it's like, get down. It's that, you know, the action, the energy is there. It just, I feel like, um you may be doubting yourself, or you might be, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, or oh, why, so many excuses. I just feel like the excuses are coming in, and people are going to halt themselves or hold themselves back from actually moving forward, and saying, no, you know what, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create whatever, or I'm going to get married, or what have you. And but don't get married on a full moon. Just saying, it's not very good. Anyways, um, this is where it's like, okay, you want to wait for that perfect day and have all the family together, and that you can do that later. You can have that celebration later. This is about, okay, you know what? I'm going to get things together, and then we're going to do this now, and we'll have that later. We'll get going on that later. So it's feeling, yeah, it's just, I just feel like people just have to really push forward and make things happen. You can't be sitting around hoping and wishing and trying to calculate that perfect day, or that perfect, that's when we're going to do it. It's like, okay, you know what? We're planning, we're going to do this. That's what's going to be creating the momentum, especially in 2024. If you are sitting back and waiting for, I don't know, the government to do something, good luck, on that one. So it's, yeah, it's, and the news is going to be a little bit wonky. Information coming out is going to be a little bit all over the place. Also, you got to watch, where is that news coming from, weighing it out, um, and the whole bit. But it's that movement going forth. Oh, yeah. The juice is going to be turned on, and it's going to start setting the pace for your dharma, especially with when Uranus starts going forward. And Uranus is in an air sign, or Uranus is in an earth sign, and we will start to really feel that Aquarius energy. Aquarians can be kind of standoffish, like, because they are waiting to see. But when they are, this is what I'm doing this for me, and I don't give a shit if you don't like it. Um, like, if they feel it is right for them to get their hair done, do this, wear this outfit, do that, if they feel like that's what they want to do, and it's makes them feel good, Aquariuses are going to do it. They're not going to wait for your permission. That's the thing about Aquarius. That's why it's the water bearer. The water bearer says, here, I showed you how to do it. Now you don't have to wait for my permission. You can go turn the tap on and get the water yourself. So this isn't about waiting for permission from somebody. This full moon, this activation is coming in, and it's saying, if you're sitting around waiting for the perfect sign, or that, and I got like that permission, if you're waiting for permission, it ain't going to come, because no one's going to give you the permission except yourself. So if it's on you of what you want to do. You want to join, I don't know, I got lawn bowling because I think we drove by a lawn bowling place. If you want to go lawn bowling, then inquire about it. Google, Google it, and find out, okay, yeah, I want to go learn about lawn bowling. I want to go learn about, whatever it is. This is what I want to start doing. Don't wait and ask, I just get like, if you're waiting for permission, it ain't going to happen. And this is a real push on your dharma, paid or unpaid, it doesn't matter. So this is a push of the energies of moving you forward in a new direction. And For a lot of people, they're not going to like it because they need to have the permission. They need to have that, okay, yeah, Sally, you can do this now. Or Bill, yep, that's okay. Go ahead and do this now. And it's like, no, it's not about that permission. If you are like, and some people, the other part too is that you're going to get, yeah, is there going to be backlash? Yeah, people are going to be pissed at you because it's like, well, you didn't tell me you're doing that. Did I have to tell you? you know this is something between me and the other person. This is what we're doing together. Or this is between me and my God. This is what I'm doing, and I'm setting forth on this. And some people are going to be like, no, that's you're going against what I thought you should be doing. And this is like, this energy is coming in saying, you know what, you can't be waiting around. If you want to learn about permaculture or uh seed sorting or whatever it is, I don't know, just pick something. That's what I got, like, pick something and just do it, kind of thing. And change, some of the change, like for me, I'm very reluctant. I don't like change. I'm a fixed sign. I'm Scorpio. Scorpios don't like to be pushed into change. But it's like, the thing is, the beautiful thing about, especially, just because I am a Scorpio, but when shit hits the fan, dig in, get it done, let's go, boom, 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 not even thinking about it. It's almost like you're forced to make the change. You're forced to make the change, and you don't want to be forced to make the change. That's why this is coming in saying, if you're humming and hawing about something and you're really wanting to do it, don't wait to be forced to do it, or the opportunity may not be there anymore. It may go out, or you might be putting it off and putting it off, putting it off, putting off. Someday, 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 someday. And that someday is no day, you know? So this is like, yeah, no, this is what we're going to start to do. This is what I'm going to start doing for myself, and begin to create that alignment with you and source. Beautiful, beautiful day for it. Um, Energy levels with people out there. Just going out driving today. More cars are on the road today than they have been in a long time. Loads of traffic. People are in a hurry. They want to get things done. They're really rushing to get things done. They're rushing here, they're rushing there. Take your time. Just do don't get yourself, like Miles, don't get your shit in a knot, because this person's doing that and that. Fuck that. Like, fuck them. Like, let them do what they're doing. You do what the fuck you want to do, right? Is Trump going to be the leader again? This concerns me, that situation. Why would it concern you? Why would Trump concern you? I'm just curious to find out why, as things unveil. I sure in hell don't. You know, the thing when Trump was in leadership, when Trump was in leadership, he did more for the country than a lot of presidents in 4 years. Not saying he was perfect. He's a little bit of an asshole. But if he says he's going to do it, he's fucking going to do it. And if you look at who's in charge right now, or whoever's in charge, it's showing the fuck ain't Biden. You have such darkness that's in there right now. You have such darkness that's in there right now, especially in the United States. Well, look at Canada. I mean, not only with our Trudeau, but our deputy prime minister was just like, oh, I honestly really want to punch her. I don't know why. She just does something to me that is just irritating. So irritating. I've heard he would really, really negative towards the LGBTQ. Do your research on Trump. Trump he's not against the LGBTQ community at all. What he's against are people going in and pushing shit on children. That's what he is. Trump is against, he's not going to tell you what you can do as an adult. As an adult, that's the difference. If you want to do something as an adult, fuck, go ahead. Do it. Do it. You want to be whatever. You could be whatever as an adult, but don't interfere in children. That's the thing. Trump is for closed borders, not closed, but monitored borders, not allowing anybody and anything to come across the border. Because if you look what's happened in the United States and in Canada, has such an influx of immigrants that have come here that aren't vetted. We don't know who the fuck they are. And then they're wanting to start telling you what you can and cannot do in your own country. Like them or leave them. I sure in the hell wouldn't want the woman that's going in there because she sucks ass so bad. She's two-tongued. She's one that you cannot trust. And the other one is like, he's just such an idiot. He's such an idiot. It's hard to predict right now, especially for this election, because of so much energy that's going to be around this election. Texas just put up extra barbed wire on the border, thank fucking God, and they are working with the other states to stop the influx of people coming over the border, because it's ruining people's lives. It's ruining the economy. If you think, a lot of people don't like Trump, whatever. But I mean, my husband detests Trump. You mention his name, he just fucking flies off the handle. He's just like, rah! And you just can't even have a fucking conversation with him because he hates him so much. And that's the way a lot of people do. And I get that, because at first I used to feel very similar about Trump until I started doing the work and educating myself and not listening to what the corporate media says. Start looking into what is really happening. What did he do? Why did he sign those policies? Why did Biden overturn the policies, especially when it has to do with children and trafficking of children? Why was he so hung? The thing is people don't understand why he was so hung up on the border, because he knew there was trafficking. They were blaming him on the hotels of putting all these children in the hotels. It wasn't him who set up the fucking hotels. It was Obama who set those up. I would be more worried about Biden and not about the LGBTQ, because they're two-faced. They're not going to be doing what you think they're going to do for the LGBTQ. Plus, half the time, the LGBTQ, the real people who are lesbian and gays, aren't even a part of the LGBTQ community. Because a part of that is a Marxist community that promotes Marxism. And that's the other part people aren't looking at. They're not looking at people's manifestos, not looking at what people are saying and what they are going for. You want to march with the Palestinians? The people if you go back to the original about the Palestinians, they hate lesbians and gays or queers. They kill them. And who controls that area is Hamas. Get to know what Hamas does. It's not about the Arabs or that area. If we go into what they do, what Hamas does, it's pretty horrendous. And it's horrendous what they do to women. I know Trump led to a whole nother area, but I mean, the thing is that if I was in the States, I would be a Trumper. I'd say fuck Biden. I mean, if he's the one that's going out there, I mean, he's, that's the whole thing, is like, people have to educate themselves. Don't go by, oh, this person said blah 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 blah, and that person said blah 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 blah, and look at Trump is and they just give you a clip of something he said. You talk to people who are actually lesbians, gays, and trans, he's friends with them. He knows them. He judges people on individual basis. He doesn't clump them into a group. And I think the LGBTQ community needs a fucking good kick up the fucking ass and make some changes. And stop discriminating and calling people, oh, you got transphobia, you got this. Fuck you. No way. That's what pisses me off. And oh, you can't be a woman. You're this, you're that. And so now they're trying to create a new narrative. What's your pronoun? There's no fucking pronoun. You're made female or male. That's it. That's it. You're born a female, you're born a male. If you feel differently as you get older, definitely, make those changes. Jenner, whatever his name is now. Um, anyways, I'm always calling him Bruce, but that he's not a Bruce anymore. But he is even talking about the transgender and talking about this and going out there and wanting to go into school and stop the teachings of this all into schools. Kids don't need to know how to do a fucking blowjob. My grandson doesn't need to know how to do a blowjob or how to get a dick up the ass. He doesn't need to know that. He's 8 years old in grade 3. But these people feel they do. No, no. When you get older, I mean, I think I taught my kids how to put a condom on when they were like 14 and started talking to the boys about sex, because little boys get hard-ons when they're like 12 years old or so, sometimes earlier, and get little hard-ons and what's up, mom? These kind of things, natural biological things that happen with your body, and talk about those when they are age appropriate. But a child at 9 years old, sometimes he wants to be the red Power Ranger. So how can you, yeah, it's like, no. There's kids right now in school identifying as a fucking cat. Like, give me a goddamn break. I am not no, you're not a fucking cat. You got mental illness if you think you're a cat. You're a human being. You're a beautiful human being. You're looking for attention because there's something there that you need to work on in your life. And here we are. Let's work on this. And that's the thing. It's like they're just allowing these children and not giving them boundaries. That's the other part. Kids need boundaries. They need to understand. And when I talk to transgenders, which I know some, is that many of them, yeah, they went through their difficulties. They loved the 80s, a lot of the older ones, because they could dress up all the time. Nobody would say anything because, kiss and everything. But as they got, it's like, I'm glad it wasn't pushed on me in high school or elementary school, because a lot of them said they would have committed suicide. And what's happening right now? More children from the ages of from 2008 to 2014, in that era of kids that were born, are committing suicide right now. And why? Because that's the area that they're really pushing the transgender and the bullshit. You know? Coming in, if you want to identify as a pan and I look at you and I know that you don't have a ding dong between your legs, okay, you're a female. You can't get away from that. And that causes in every single society, when you go back all the way back to the Greeks, when the Greeks started having baths with little boys all the time, and having and pushing that you have to have sex with a boy before you have sex with a woman, because that's how you get your practice in the bathhouses. Breakdown of a society. Morals are gone. Values are gone. I'm not saying that we have to go back to, church ways and staunch ways. No, religion is dying. But what I'm coming to say is that you have to have an understanding. And that's going back to Trump. You got to have an understanding. He's a Gemini. He talks shit. He's horrible at giving speeches. He's horrible at coming out and doing that. He is. But when he talks, fucking listen, because he's going to tell you the truth. I was wondering why when he started coming out and calling it Obamagate, and I'm like, thing is that Geminis, yeah, they're yeah, they can toss and turn, but when they come out and they start saying it's this, you listen. You listen, and then you start saying, "Oh, fuck, yeah. Okay, what's this Obamagate? What is he accusing Obama of doing?" And you're like, "Holy crap. How many drones did he go out and he killed people, innocent people, right? How many wars were started? How many wars were started under Trump? Zero. Trump had a plan for getting everything out of Afghanistan, a real plan, and talked to them and said, "This is what we're doing." Biden came in, threw the plan out, said, "Fuck it. Let's do a free for all." You know? And it is the thing is that having those conversations of why you're so scared of that person, right? And looking into why you're so scared of the person and why you're so scared of that. And then you step back and you start to look at, okay, you know, who they have in right now, and he's running again. Man, he's got something up his ass because he's made a really good deal with the devil because in his chart he's supposed to be dead now. And that's just astrologically. So he's made a deal with the fucking devil to still be here. And yeah, Trump and they're old, but unless somebody new comes in that is actually um good. I mean, even Kennedy, Robert Kennedy was running, but he had to go on a he couldn't run as he had to go as an independent in there. Now we have that election that's coming up. 60% of the world is in elections right now. Um, and so we're going to be seeing a lot of things. UK is coming up for an election. That's going to be another interesting one. We have Ireland. Ireland is going to, I can see some uproars coming up in Ireland, though, some really crazy shit because they're really pushing the Irish back. Same with the UK, France, Germany, you know, and the disruptions that are happening there with the farmers. So when Uranus goes forward, we're going to start seeing a lot more. We're going to start seeing a lot more people rebelling. Things, people are going to be starting to stand up and say, no, we're not taking this anymore. The Supreme Court of Canada just overturned the Emergency Act by Trudeau, and now the government's going to appeal it. Our money is fighting this. Trudeau's not saying, oh, let's just, take it out of my bank account. No, it's being taken out of our bank account to fight this, of something he illegally did, right? So there is, it's like even understanding with Pierre Pauliette. He's not perfect. He has shares in AI. He has shares in a lot of medical things, and he is a part of the WEF. So it's, you got to understand, like, a lot of these leaders aren't going to come away from the WEF. They don't like Trump if he goes to Davos. You know why? Because he speaks truth. They don't like him because he's going to say shit. They're afraid of what he's going to say. And I think it's the funniest thing. It's the funniest thing, you know. And even if, who is it? My lovely guy, which everybody's pissed off at him, which whatever. Russell Brand. Russell Brand is another one. He's another Gemini, and going through his shit. But the thing is that if right now, if they don't like you, if you're not following in line, they're going to get rid of you. And this is actually what they did actually with a couple of the elections in the United States. Right back into the before the Civil War and just after the Civil War. And so will we see some shit hit the fan in the United States? Definitely. They're not going to back down. Texas is not going to back down. In fact, Texas can be its own country. I mean, they have different their constitution is a little bit different, and how they joined the United States is formulated differently. I don't know the whole, but I know they don't rely so heavily on the federal government like other states do. So if they're saying no, it's no. It doesn't matter what the federal or the Supreme Court now in the United States is saying, that they have to allow for the federal police, I guess, or border patrol to come in, and they're saying no. and they put up more barriers. So that will cause a huge rift. There's a movie that's coming out, and it's gonna be playing out in April, and I find it quite interesting, all these little movies that are coming out, and it's called Civil War. And just seeing how it's being played out, there's a question that's being asked, when this one scene, and the soldier goes, he goes, or the people go, well, we're American. And he goes, what kind of American? That right there is like huge. What type of American are you? And that's kind of like the quote, like what type of Canadian are you? Could you imagine somebody? What do you mean? What type of Canadian? I'm just Canadian, eh? No, what type of Canadian? And it's amazing when you start talking to people and you start, listening to what, people say, and finding how many people just follow suit and just fall into line for shit and don't question. It's amazing. It just it boggles my mind every time I have these conversations with them, and having that understanding, because not everybody, could, um, couldn't. But this is where, you know, it comes forward, is like you say, because you didn't have a choice. I don't have a choice. It's I have to do this or I have to do that. I don't have to. I'm just doing my job. That's going to be coming where that's going to backfire in a lot of people's faces, because it's like, if when you're saying, "Oh, I'm just doing my job," and deep down inside that's not what you should be doing. And aligning, and that's this the Aquarius energy, and you're not aligning with your divine self and your divine God, and you're saying, "I'm doing it because it's my job," you know? It's very interesting how things are gonna unfold, because you gotta go from here, and that's where the energy is coming in, especially with the full moon coming in Leo. You gotta go with the heart. When you get up here and you get all fearful, and you get all fearful about, a person like Trump. Like, I remember I was watching, was it Byron Katie? Yeah, it must have been Byron Katie. And she was, in a group, and this is when Trump was first running, and people are like, "Oh my God, if he gets elected, we're all going to be in concentration camps." And she goes, "Is that true? Like, where did you hear that? Like, did he say he's putting people in concentration camps?" And he goes, "No, it's just the way he is, and his attitude, and he's so blah, whatever." And she goes, "Did he say that?" No, he didn't say that. So is it true? Is it really, really true? And those are the questions you got to ask yourself when you look at it. Is it true? Now, if you ask my husband, he's like, he's definitely, Trump should go to jail, blah, 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 blah. And then the next thing you know, he sees a bunch of shit happening. He goes, well, maybe Trump should be running, which I laugh. So, uh, Trump Canadian. So it's like, oh, who's coming to Canada, or he's going to be speaking. And they try to ban him from coming up to Canada. Tucker Carlson. They don't want him here in Canada. They do not want him here. They don't want him speaking. Which is really interesting, because he was speaking out and for the truckers, even when he was on Fox News. And then Fox fired him. And now he's like able to say what he really wants to say and speak and go where he really wants to go. And he even admits, there was a time when I was, for this and for that. And he goes, more I learned, the more I understand. Oh, I'm changing my mind. And that's the thing. You're able to change your mind. You're able to admit, when you say, hey, fuck, I did wrong. Yeah. Yeah. I admit, like, I was like, I didn't like Trump when he first got in. I was thinking like, oh, this. Then I started finding out information. Right. And that's the thing. That's what we're supposed to do. And learn it now. It's a lot of things that are coming out. I mean, even with our premier here, Danielle Smith, And she's not perfect. She's saying a lot of good things, but the other thing too, they're trying she's Danielle is walking a thin line right now. She's walking a thin line because keeping Alberta in Canada and understanding the things that we have to do as Canadians, right? So she's walking this thin line and making, where we do have the wind turbines and we do have solar and I think they call it bullfrog energy or something like that, to have the bullfrog energy. A lot of companies are partially on that for their electricity for their company, and trying to work that and work with the oil companies and creating that, because she knows that we need the oil companies, knows different things that we need. But you also have to realize too is that we're not a republic. That's the big thing. We're not a republic. So individual states just can't do and make their own kind of laws. We can, but if like the federal law can oversee and overtake that of the provincial law. So it's sort of, that's another fine line that we have to watch. That's why she took him to court for the Sovereignty Act and stuff, because there is that Sovereignty Act which kind of protects us, but we still have to walk that fine line, and that's where that green energy is coming in. And we all know it's not green. So with electric cars, EV cars, and things like that. So what's happening now is that, okay, you're not towing the line. You're not towing the line. You want to have your Sovereign Act? Well, over here, we manufacture cars. We manufacture cars over here. So we are putting out that we are going to put pressure on these car manufacturers because we bailed them out. We gave them fucking money. And the United States gave them fucking money to keep going, right? So we're going to tell these car manufacturers that they're only allowed to produce X amount of cars by this date. That's what we're going to do. Then what we're going to do, and what does that do to us? It's just like, holy shit. Well, if they're pushing electric cars, if they're pushing these vehicles upon us, we have to change our infrastructure. We may not be able to change it the same timeline. There's no fucking way that we can do it. It's just like tearing down all these houses, that they're doing right now. They're buying up all these old houses and tearing them down like crazy and building up these 5-plexes, 4-plexes, little mini apartments. But where's the infrastructure? Like where, the sewage, the lights, and everything else? We're going to have a huge problem here with all of that, because it's just not sustainable. It's not sustainable. There's going to be a lot of shit flown out, literally. But anyways, so that's what the federal government does. He goes, okay, you don't want to do this, but we're going to put pressure over here. This pressure over here is going to go on you, because now you're going to have to make some changes. Because if you don't own a car by 2026, if you don't have a vehicle, and I know some people say, oh, I don't want a vehicle, I don't want this. But if you are not maintaining your vehicle and you are wanting to get a new one, by 2026, it's going to be very difficult and you're going to be on a wait list. And people say, well, what about all the used cars? Sorry, cars not valid on the road past 2015, 2018, whatever the date they choose. And that if you have like an antique car, well, then you're only allowed on the road on X amount of days and stuff like that. Or we're going to pull your insurance and make it harder to get insurance, or homeowner insurance too, which they're doing as also. So you might get the loan, but you just can't get the insurance and get your homeowner insurance. So the thing is, the person like Trump, he doesn't agree with all that. He wants to know more about it. Just Danielle wants to know more about it. Educate me and let me know what's going on. Oh, this is what they're doing. The government's putting pressure on you. Yeah, we're not allowed. And then by then, because Alberta buys a lot of vehicles here, people love their new vehicles. You drive Alberta highways, they have new vehicles. They love their new vehicles. But you're going to find that people won't be able to get these new vehicles unless you go for um, the EV vehicles. Edmonton bought the hydrogen buses. So in a lot of outs in some areas of Edmonton, they're going in for the hydrogen buses, which is going to be interesting too, and some electrical buses as well. And but they couldn't run in the unfortunately they could not run in such cold. So when it got so cold, the buses were not running. They're having difficulties. And in maintaining. The other thing too is the maintenance that is going to happen with these vehicles too, and maintaining them. And that's going to be another big one. Uh, because to replace some of the things, it means, oh well, it's too expensive to replace, so dump the bus and make a new one, kind of thing. So these are the questions like somebody like Trump's going to ask, and he's going to be upfront and he's going to ask those things. Pierre too, but Pierre's going to be, yeah, he's got there's a, we're still a Commonwealth country. We're still a Commonwealth country. Even though a lot of people say it's just a figurehead or whatever, we're still a Commonwealth country. The long and the short of it. If it's just a figurehead, then why is there such an influence? So it's the whole world is changing, and as we are moving with these changes, we need to make sure that we keep our minds open and not choose a side, and making sure that when we are looking at things, that we are really educating ourselves, understanding what's going on. Even if people get hot-headed underneath the Middle East scenario that's happening right now, and it's just like, like, really look into it. Look into what it means to be, you want to be pro-Palestinian, cool. Wow, you want to be pro-Israeli, cool. Look into both sides. I don't agree with either side. I think the leader of Israel right now is a real big dick. And I think the thing is that the people who are Hamas, who are ruling the government of Hamas, that are ruling right now, are big dicks as well. But who's making money? In all of this, who's making the money? Sure hell isn't you and I. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But I ain't making the money. But that's what you got to look at. Who's making the money? And that's the big one out of these wars. So, I mean, they even said, what was it in Davos, that he was saying that, we got to bomb more, got to make more bombs to get peace. You mean if I keep on punching you in the face, it's going to make you happier and you're going to come around, and then we're going to be a peaceful neighbor? Because I kept punching you in the face. So, the more I get, the more I get going at you, the more peaceful we're going to be coming. That didn't work with me. I got in trouble for that when I punched my sister. But anyways, so we are having to really, whatever it is, whatever side you're on, have yourself look into the other side. You believe this, look into the other side. It's like, when you were religious and you wanted to go and say you're Catholic, go to a Protestant church, go to an Anglican church. If you're Anglican, go to a Catholic church. Find out, go to a Buddhist temple, right? Experience it, find out about it. What's it about? Doesn't mean that you're going to be converted to go there, but you are understanding what it's about. You're understanding what they're doing. If you don't understand what the Muslim religion is, find out about it. All right? Read it. It's not all beautiful. Same with the Bible, it's not all beautiful. but you find out about it, you educate yourself, then you're able to make more of a decision. And then you got to come to your heart. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? What way do I feel? What is my alignment? And that's where this energy comes in today. What is my alignment? That's the energy that we're going into. What is my alignment? What feels right? This is what I need to do for my highest good, my highest good, my connection to that of the divine, my connection to that of the God and the goddess. What is my connection? And how can I continue to be within that and not be swayed in this line and that line and make, you know, drastic drastic, uh, decisions and say, it's got to be this way. Because that's where war starts. When people come into their alignment, man, and they're like, yeah, no, I want to bring in love. I want to bring in peace. Okay, that, you know what, you do you go over there. I'm not in that alignment. I understand what you're doing, but don't push your shit on me. Okay? That's the big thing. Anyways, one question led to a lot. See, that's why it's not good to ask mama questions. So, oh, my coffee's just going down so fast. Just going down so fast. After this, I'll be doing the full moon reading. So expect your full moon reading sometime today, hopefully. And if I don't get them all done today, they will. I'll be doing them tomorrow and getting them out tomorrow as well. So beautiful, just beautiful energies. I just feel this moon is very powerful one. And it can be a beautiful energy to bring in the transformation and changes you want. Or if you're dealing with something that feels very heavy and you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. Give it up to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle. Ask for that inner peace and a miracle. So let's pull some cards. I kept you guys here for a while. But I have noticed as we drive on, I'm trying to think. Anyways, one of the roads that we drive on every morning, I don't remember what street it is. But along there's quite a few older houses, and they're being snapped up like this. And plus they're on big lots, right? So they're on 80-foot lots. But they're being snapped up. And they've all been rezoned already. There is on 45th and Bow Trail, they bought out, and right across from the LRT there, they bought this whole corner area of these houses, and they're going to be building this big high rise there. And it's right, it's kitty corner to the cop shop and the fire station, and then LRT, and then the big insurance companies down there. So it's interesting to see how these are being built up, and everybody's saying because we need housing for everybody. And then they're talking about in the Northeast, in around Franklin area, the Franklin station in the Northeast. So you have a big parking lot there, and you have a couple schools and stuff like that there. They are wanting to take that parking lot over, which I found interesting. And what they want to do is put low income housing in that area. And I'm just like, out of all, like, there's a lot of areas that they can be choosing, but it's amazing that they want to take over this parking lot by the LRT. So thought that was interesting. So a lot of housing and development is going on, but not some like apartments. And a lot of these places, if they're rentals, are getting a big, huge cut from the federal government too. So they're not having to pay the GST and a few other things, and they're getting kickbacks in creating these things. But no extra money right now that I can see, especially here in Calgary. I don't know about your area, is going into the infrastructure and making the changes. That includes garbage pickup. you know, and our infills and things like that, that are happening, and where our garbage is going. So you're going to find more restrictions on that too when it comes to your garbage pickup and things. So to stop people from, oh, just, just so much, baby, so much. Okay. What do you guys have to say? What do you guys have to say? Oh, got to follow your intuition. Queen. Ah, she's reversed. Queen's reversed. So you might be really dwelling on everything, you know, when it comes to your world and you want it a certain way, yet it's things are shifting, things are changing, and you got to allow for those shifts and change. If things feel so out of whack, you got to allow them to be out of whack. Don't try and control everything and expect it's got to be this way, it's got to be this beautiful, and it's this rose color and that lilac or whatever it is. Queen of Pentacles is reversed. So she's saying you got to go with your intuition and allow yourself to get, you know, you got to let it get yucky before it gets beautiful. Right. And then comes the inspiration. So in comes the air. So the air is going to bring you some inspiration. It's going to bring you some substance there, but it's only the beginning of it. And you got to allow it to flow through. You got to allow it to move through. And as you're moving through, yeah, baby, here comes the Queen of Cups. She's saying it's all about listening to your emotions. Listen to your emotions. Yeah, because I'm the hippy dippy queen and I trust how I feel and the vibrations that are happening. If you're trying to control and restrict, ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work if you say, it's gotta be this way. I gotta get here. Ah. Universe is gonna throw you some curveballs and say, no, baby, it's gotta go a different way. We're changing things up. We're not keeping it the way it was. So there you go. So let me know if you're wanting a full moon reading. May the Lord Almighty watch over and bless each and every one of you. And thank you for the questions. Thank you. Brings in good conversation. God bless, and the goddess bless you.